Hey yo, what's going on, folks? Here, just trying to get this thing set up and everything like that with Mr. Gary. I'm waiting on my co-host to join in, and then I'm gonna reach out to Mr. Gary and then see if we get this thing set up and everything like that, so that you'll be able to try this and see if this runs properly. So I don't know where this guy is. Supposed to be my co-host, man. We had this thing set up and everything like that, so be able to try this out so that y'all could hear from the former WBC featherweight champion. So you're waiting for him to join in because he, usually is co-host when I do have these conversations with Mr. Gary, but I don't know, man. Hopefully he ain't asleep. I know that. Hopefully he ain't asleep. So, I'm trying to, get that thing going there. But I did try to, reach out to Mr. Gary and everything like that. So I'm trying to see if I have this whole thing set up because we originally had it scheduled for about 30 minutes ago, but outside of that, they pushed it for 4:30. So I wanted to see if I could had this thing on for it. So let me see here, man. Hey, just give me a few seconds here. I'm gonna try something here real quick, and then we'll be able to get back to it. So just hold on for a moment, y'all. Let's see where this guy, Mr. Matt, is here real quick. Hold on, just a second. Hello. What's up, man? What's up?
Man, how you feeling, man? What's the word?
Oh man, we all good, man. Hope, man. I'm trying to see if this thing here works, but I'm trying to get this joint with the people, man, so that they're able to hear you. So I because I got you on the thing here with the Twitter Spaces and everything like that. The fans want to hear from you, man.
Oh shit, how we gonna do it?
Oh man, we pretty much trying to do this thing here right now, man. Hey, do y'all hear Mr. Gary?
We hear him. We hear him. We definitely hear him. How you doing,
Oh
Mr.
shucks, here we
Gary
go.
Russell?
What's going on? How you feeling?
Listen. I was I was feeling good when I saw the announcement, July 19th. Mr. Gary Russell Jr. is back. How the hell did that happen?
Oh man, it's just been a lot going on, to be honest with you. Like I say, um, with the passing of my father, my father passed 3 years ago. A little over 3 years. And it's like everything fell in my lap. I was disappointed with my last performance. I felt like I got bamboozled and all of that with my last performance when I competed. I had my injury about 3 years ago. I had my injury the last time I competed, and everything fell in my lap, man. So I had to take a back seat and stand firm with making sure my younger brothers were situated. I had to handle the bigger picture. My career, I was the longest reigning champion in the sport of boxing for a long time. My career has already had a nice little stretch. My younger brother was just coming into his stride in his career, and everything just fell on me, man. I had to take the time out to properly try to heal myself to the best of my ability, as well as navigate my family. My younger brothers. I turned one of my brothers into a world champion. You know, um, I'm just grateful to be able to be back and do what I love doing.
Now, the last time we had both spoke to you, you did mention that your shoulder was so bad to the point where you couldn't even pick your kid up over your head. How is your shoulder doing, and are you confident in your shoulder going into your next fight?
Um, I'm confident. I'm confident in it going into my next fight. Like I say, in my personal opinion, I don't feel as though it would ever be 100%. I don't think it'll ever be 100%. But I feel as though that is good enough and is strong enough now that I could do what I want to do in the ring. And I can also, I just want to be able to just get back out there, man. I want to be able to get back out there and do what I love doing. Um, Boxing is something that I always love. I'm a connoisseur of the sport. Even when my career is over and done with, I know I'm one of them people that's going to still stay in shape. I'm going to still stay in the gym. I'm still going to work out, and I'm still going to want to even move around and spa a little bit. You know, that's just within me.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just grateful that I feel healthy enough to actually just be able to just get back out there and do what I love doing.
Yeah, now I was out there in the gym one time with you. When I had a conversation, and I had, like, made a post that had a little snippet of the last part of that interview, and it was something that was like we talked around March. You was like at the end, you like stay tuned, stay tuned. So I didn't know if you was thinking about making that return then, but to see this news now, it's like, oh snap, Mister Gary back, yo.
Well, and here's the thing: a lot of people been wanting me to get back, to come back and compete. They've been trying to issue dates and stuff like that, but I was never one of the type of people that want to be forced into anything or rushed into anything. We always tend to try to move at the beat of our own drum. Um, I wanted to be 100% confident within myself that I'm okay. We are definitely in the hurt business, and you gotta be ready when you're in that sport. Anything can happen. People get hurt, get injured all the time. So I wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that I did the best that I could possibly do as far as taking the time to make sure that my body is feeling healthy, that I physically feel healthy, that mentally I'm where I need to be. To actually come back to the sport.
Word, for sure, for sure. And the thing is here, man, you got this fight coming up against Hugo Castaneda on that July 19th card, man. And one of the things that also stood out about you having this fight is that they originally have it slated for the lightweight division. So is it to where you're gonna be kind of floating around lightweight or maybe a super featherweight, after this particular fight?
Yeah, that's probably what we're looking at. It's crazy because before my last match, which was 3 or so years ago, I was honestly planning on that was going to be my last fight at that weight division. Anyway, I wanted to move up in weight,
Mm-hmm.
and challenge some of these bigger guys.
Yeah.
So it just came full circle. We just had to sit down and go back to the drawing board, make sure that we were actually 100% healthy, or at least healthy enough to be able to do what I want to do in that square. And show the fans, what I'm saying, what Mr. Gary Russell can do.
Word. Now I know that you had like a couple of people that were on your radar, that were around like that 130-pound division, but given what has like happened over the past few years, they may or may not have been out of the picture. So with this, I know that you have the fight coming up with Castaneda, a test run and things like that. But I feel like you planning on something like real big here later this year.
I think as of now, the thing that I'm planning on is getting through July 19th, being healthy, testing my arm, seeing how my arm feels. Knocking off some dust and some cobwebs because it's definitely been over 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Knocking off the dust and the cobwebs, getting my feet back up under me. I just want to go out there and just enjoy myself and have a little fun. Doing what I love to do.
Word.
And after that, depending on how things go and how I feel, hey, what you say that last interview said, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Exactly. Stay tuned. For sure, man. Now, man, hey Matt, you got another question for him? Cause I got another follow up from our last conversation, though.
Yeah, so one thing I was wondering about. Right now, you're at 135. I'm assuming you're gonna vacillate between 130 and 135 going forward. Um, are you like, because I know you're a student of the game. Are you already scouting the landscape at 130 and 135? At 130 you got Stephen Fulton, who's gonna be fighting O'Shaquie Foster. At 135, obviously one of your biggest rivals, we got Tank, we got Shakur Stevenson. Are you already scouting the landscape and maybe saying, hey, listen, if all goes well with this shoulder, these guys are going to have to see me inside that ring?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, ain't nothing changed. Mr. Gary Russell Jr. has always been like that anyway. Hell yeah, I've been already scouting the landscape. God willing, everything goes as planned, goes good, and my arm, performs well, and I feel as though we're healthy enough to go through with this shit, and it works out fine. Ooh, oh yeah, I got my eyes on some people.
All right, go ahead, JBZ.
Yeah. Now, we had a conversation, some time back when, it was like a sit down live conversation. And we had talked about one particular fighter there that you've been familiar with, from back in the day, has been your Olympic teammate. And this is, Matt's, your favorite guy, Mr. Deontay Wilder. And he had his fight, what I'm saying, a couple weeks ago, and he was able to stop Tyrell Herndon and things like that. So we wanted to see like what you thought about what he was doing, and if you're still interested on being a trainer for Deontay Wilder.
To be honest with you, I'm just glad that one of my fellow teammates, within this sport, man, you can deal with a lot of stuff, man. A lot of people got to be mentally strong, because once your name is out there, everybody knows who you are. You got critics all over the world that has something to say. And if you're not strong-minded or strong-willed, that shit can take a toll on you. I think ultimately, I'm just grateful that my man was able to get back out there, get back in the saddle, and get him a win. I'm glad he was able to get a win, and he's able to continue to provide for his family, his babies, his children, and etc. I think that right there is, one of the things that I'm genuinely concerned about more than anything. I'm grateful for that more than anything. I'm always open to be of assistance. Now, if they want assistance, then that's something completely different. But as far as me goes, I'm just glad that he was able to get back out there, and do what he does best. Do what he loves to do. Compete in the sport. Provide for his family, provide for his children, and etc.
Now, you're going to be getting back out there on July 19th on the same card in the main event. Manny Pacquiao is going to be getting back out there from a 5-year absence. What's in the water, man? What's up with all these legends coming back, man? You guys can't get rid of that itch?
Hey, listen, man. When you a fighter, man, you got that bug. You got that bug. You know what I'm saying? When you get that bug, you get that bug. You just get that itch. I think a lot of times when people have good careers or their careers going well and they pretty much got everything that they wanted from the sport, you would tend to see fighters, they would naturally just retire out. Like Lomachenko, for example, he's someone that, he just retired from the sport of boxing. He's no longer boxing. I'm mad that happened. I just like want to set up a spawn session or something with him because I still feel like I want to see him again. I still want to see him again one way or another. I wish we could set some spawn up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. But I think as far as like fighters like me and Pacquiao, we definitely did a lot in the sport, and things came about to cause us to kind of take a step back away from the sport, to deal with business and family and etc. But you can't take the true fighter out of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I believe, once again, even when we get to the point that physically we can't do it no more, we're still going to love the sport. We're still going to be those type of people that's going to want to be in the gym, still want to move around from time to time, and etc. So I think this is just our way of continuing to give back to the sport until we feel as though that our bodies had enough.
Yeah.
Word. You go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, so I was going to say, obviously, you've never left the sport completely because you became a championship trainer for your little brother, Gary Antoine. What's the word on him? Last I heard, he was supposed to be fighting Andy Hirioka. There were negotiations going back and forth. How soon can we expect Gary Antoine back in the ring? And if you know who the opponent is going to be, can you share that with us?
To be honest with you, they are speaking about the guy from Japan.
Yeah, Hirioka.
In my personal opinion, I would prefer to unify. Champion, challenging champion will always trump a mandatory challenger.
Yeah.
You know, I would prefer to unify. My younger brother, he just became the WBA world champion, and I believe that he wants a shot at some of these other champions. You know, he wants a shot at some of these other champions. If we can't get one of these champions instead of this guy from Japan, then of course we will, deal with our obligations of the mandatory challenger. We'll get this shit out of the way as soon as possible, and immediately after, we're trying to unify against one of these world champions. You know, that's the game plan. That's what we want.
And how soon are you expecting him back in the ring?
We're looking around October, something like that.
Okay. What's going on with Gary Antonio? I see that he's moving up the rankings over there in the lower weight division. What's next for him? Or how soon can we expect to see Gary Antonio back in the ring?
Man, look, we're trying to get Antonio. He should be back in the ring next month.
Okay.
Next month he'll be back. Next month he should be back in the ring. We're looking at August for him. And to be honest with you, we trying to make history.
Yeah.
It's never been three homegrown brothers to actually have world titles or held world titles. You know, I was the longest reigning world champion. My little brother Antoine now is a world champion. And if Tonio is to put his hands on the title, that would make history yet again, for the Russell family. It's never been three homegrown. So we're looking at just getting one more fight in with him. And then maybe after that, we're trying to line him up for one of these world titles.
Word. So big ups for chopping it up with us here, man, on the spaces and things like that, man. I will see if I could, open it up for, people in the spaces to ask a question here for Mr. Gary Russell Jr. here in a minute. But, we just, continuing to chop it up with, the champ and all of that, man. Just, happy for him to take the time to, speak with us and speak with the people, man, because, hey, he wants to do it for the people. Like you said, man, you do it for the people.
There you go, man. I feel like the sport been getting a little soft, man. It's been getting watered down. This shit turning into WWE. Something like that or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something on a personal note, because one of your big rivals over the course of your career, even though you never fought, Leo Santa Cruz, obviously we all heard the news that his father Jose recently passed away. Have you been in contact with him at all? Because obviously you went through the same thing with your father.
It's so crazy. It's crazy. No, I have not been in contact with. I actually reached out to him a couple times, just to give him some words of encouragement. I reached out to him a couple of times to try to give him some words of encouragement. I believe, when my pops passed, I had to take the time to just grieve by myself, man. It's definitely a process, A lot of people, and here's the thing, a lot of people, everyone has a dad, everyone has a mom, but a lot of people don't have fathers. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of people had dads, but a lot of people didn't have fathers. I had a father, Leo Santa Cruz. I know he had a father, so it kind of hits different, and I try to tell people, pay attention while you can. Pay attention. Pay the fuck attention to your fathers, to your mothers, to the elders, because it's going to come a certain time that you're going to be cut off from that access of information. And the only thing that you're going to have to remember, the only thing that you're going to have is the shit that you paid attention to. only thing you're gonna have is the things that you paid attention to and the stuff that you remember, that you kept and you took it and made it your own. You know, so it's a tough transition, you know, to know that that lifeline or that extra help is no longer there anymore. You know, you kind of feel a little empty. You know, so I definitely wanted to reach out to him and talk to him about it, just to give him some words of encouragement, man, because I've definitely been there, gone through it, and I'm still dealing with it right now to this day. You know, with my father, the passing of my father, it's crazy. My father is not going to be in my corner. You know, I know I'm going to be looking to hear his voice at some point whenever I do compete. You know, whenever I do compete. But here's the thing. Energy is transferable. It never dies. You know, my younger brothers, they're going to be the ones that's working my corner. We don't change too much things up over here with us. You know what I'm saying? We're real tight-knit group. You know, everyone, we have our own creed, our own motto. A lot of these fighters, we call these guys Frankenstein fighters because they had this coach in the amateurs. Now he's pro. He's with this coach. Now you got pieces of everybody. Everything we have is homegrown, all taught from the same source. Everything is taught from the same source. You know, so even when it comes to just my father's voice not being there, you know, I feel his energy and I hear his energy through my younger brother, through their set of eyes. You know, it's shit that they would say to me in the gym while I'm working out. God damn it, if it don't sound like Pops is right there in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and they're right on the money because no one knows our creed and our motto the way that we know our creed and our motto. You know, just like back in the day, that's why I used to like the Chinese movies, the karate movies. Everybody had their own style. They had the tiger style and the monkey style and the hidden dragon. They had all these different styles of fighting. You know, and they had to master that. You know, our style is our style. We have our own creed, our own motto, and the only people that can possibly give it to us is the people that actually truly indulged in this shit with us from the beginning. You know, so that's my younger brothers, you know, my siblings and etc. So I'm grateful for that, man. So it's just a lot, man. I feel like I wanted to talk to Leo just to let him know, like, keep your head up, stay focused, use this shit as fuel. You know, stay hungry. You know, it's okay. I know sometimes the shit can hurt. You know what I'm saying? Things can go on throughout my everyday and something might happen. Just random stuff can happen. I can just have a conversation with somebody and I just want to know the name of a movie. And I can't think of the damn name of the movie. But I know shit. If I can call my father, I know my father knows. I know my father will be able to know the name of this movie. I know he's going to tell me. But I don't have that outlet to do so. And it be shit like that. They're like, damn, Pops, I miss you, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
So it's a never-ending thing, man. But you have to learn how to properly cope with it and use that shit as fuel, man. Pay attention and use it as energy.
Now, you are the access of information for your family now. You are the elder for your family, but you are still obviously also a fighter. How do you balance Gary Russell Jr., the trainer, from Gary Russell Jr., the fighter? Like, what's that balance been like for you?
I mean, you can see them both in the same body. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, if anybody knows about that. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you can see them both in the same body. You know, any real king would be open-minded to constructive criticism and etc. You should always pay attention. You never think that you know it all. Never think that you got all the answers or anything like that. So, yes, I am the coach, but when I'm in the gym training and I'm working out and etc., I'm not the coach. I'm not the coach. I give the floor. I give the floor not just to my chief second, who's Gary Allen Russell III, but I give the floor to Gary Antoine Russell, to Gary Antonio Russell, to even my little brother Gary Isaiah Russell. You know, and even my older brother, he's not a Russell, he's a Jones. You know what I'm saying? Gary's fast hand Jones. He was still brought up. He was still brought up and understand our style, our creed. So I will still be open minded to any type of instruction or constructive criticism that's given to me or thrown my way, because I know at the end of the day, it's all for the betterment of me.
Word for sure. Hey Matt, do you have the co-host thing for this?
Let me get it because I might be on my phone. Hold on. Let me.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right, for sure, man. Because hey, Twitter. See, hey, Gary Russell said, he don't be on Twitter that much, and his be like, Twitter be twittering.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know if he had the co-host, and then sometimes they'll have a speaker, and then you can't see that they're a speaker, whatever it is. So, so that be the thing, there, Mister Gary. I know that you said you don't be on the Twitter thing that much, but sometimes it's probably better off not being on Twitter the way some things be working on here, man. But big thanks for.
You say sometimes what?
Sometimes it's like it'd be better off not being on Twitter because it be bugging sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, but that's cool, man. Life be life.
Yeah.
Life is life, man. We gotta have the ability to be versatile and to adapt with what's going on. A lot of people don't have the ability to adapt, man. I just want to stay rooted and stay grounded. That's it.
Right, for sure, man. Is yeah, I was gonna open it up for pause for the listeners here. If they got any questions for Mr. Gary Russell Jr., they'll be able
Yeah.
to put in a request and
Yeah.
things like
Hey,
that
hey,
and join
listen.
in.
If you got a question for Gary Russell Jr., you better ask it now because he ain't never gonna be back on Twitter. You better get your ass up here now. I tell you,
Hey,
boy.
go ahead, man. Y'all wild as shit.
You better get your ass up here now, ladies and gentlemen. Speak now or forever
Hey,
hold
look.
your
Hey,
peace.
look. Don't say that. Don't say that. My man might call for me again, man. If he call for me again,
Hey, listen, I was able to get Gary Antoine to join Twitter. Now we just gotta work on you.
Word,
Uh,
word.
all right, joining us real quick. We got the host of Turnbuckle Talk, O Peace. You're on with the great Gary Russell Jr. What's going on, O Peace?
What's going on, man? Man, appreciate y'all having me, JBs. It was good. What's good, Mr. Gary? How you feeling, brother?
man. Hey, to be honest with you, normally when people ask how I'm feeling, my answer is it don't matter. Shit gotta get done anyway. No matter how bad, hey, look, no matter how bad your day going or whatever, as long as you got breath in your body, you gotta deal with that shit anyway.
You know? Well, let
No
me ask you
matter.
a better question. How's your spirit, brother? How's your spirit?
Strong.
That's what's
Strong.
up. That's what's up, man. That's always good to hear, brother. You know, I always I'm gonna start off by saying, man, I always admired what you and the Gary family have built within the sport of boxing. Y'all name is synonymous with the sport of boxing, man. So I just wanna big up you and all the things that you and the Russell family is doing in the sport and have done for the sport, bro. So let me start off by saying that. And
I appreciate that. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I wouldn't say that all this shit is contributed to Pops.
for
You know,
sure.
everything's contributed to Pops, man. So I appreciate it. I'm just grateful that I'm open minded enough to be able to take the reins, and carry this torch, right along with Pops, and that he's no longer can do it. You
Man,
know,
and that's a good segue into my question too, because like I see that you taking the corner of Antoine, and like Gary Antoine, that's one of my favorite fighters to date, bro. I think he have that old school mentality that's missing in boxing, and that's why like I feel so connected to his career as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Gary Antoine, he really have the potential to be undisputed at 140 should he take the right path. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to ask you about the Alberto Puello fight. I'm real curious about that fight because there was some things that I seen that Puello did, because like I was seeing Gary Antoine start to establish his rhythm, but Puello kept interrupting it because he's rangy, he's a southpaw as well, and he's a good counterpuncher. So what was it about his it him being a southpaw and Gary not really having professional experience with southpaws, or was it just his craftiness as a southpaw? in that fight? What was it that was so, so difficult to kind of crack with his style?
It had nothing to do with Quayo. It had everything to do with Antoine.
Facts. Okay.
To be honest with you, just like even in my little brother Antonio's fight right after my father passed, mentally, physically, they were in shape and they were ready to compete, but mentally, they felt like something was just missing. They couldn't deal with just Pops just not being around to a certain extent. And to be honest with you, if you paid attention to the fight, Antoine won the first half of the fight.
Absolutely.
It wasn't until the second half of the fight when things started going different. And to be honest with you, it was a reporter that came to him and they said something to him. They was like, yeah, Antoine, you have a style, you have a real fan friendly style. We feel like your style is similar to Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? And I had to tell
That's cap.
Hey, and I was telling my brother, I said, listen, you have the ability to be versatile. I was telling him going into this Ryo fight, I had to let him know you can't go in every job thinking that you can use your sledgehammer.
Facts.
Each job requires a different tool. You can't, when you get to this upper echelon, you get to that big boy stage, you're not going to be able to just walk everybody down with your sledgehammer. You got to get equally as efficient with this fucking little ass island wrench.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You got to be as efficient with this island wrench. And that was a conversation in which that we were having. And one of the reporters, like I say, said something and compared him to Sean Porter. As young fighters, even back in going fast forwarding back to this his last fight when he won the title, I had to literally keep my foot in his ass the whole fight.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know as a fighter, as younger fighters, when you feel as though that you got the measure of your man,
Right.
when you got the better person, you tend to get overzealous. You tend to get a little bit reckless. You tend to make more take unnecessary risks.
Absolutely.
Etc.
Right.
Once he got the measure of Pollo by doing exactly what the fuck we worked on in training camp in the first half of the fight, that second half of the fight, he did whatever he wanted. I couldn't get through to him.
Right.
I couldn't get through to him. He stopped doing everything that he was doing, and he took it on the chin like a man. He came to me afterwards. He apologized. He said, bro, I'm sorry. I know I deviated from the game plan. I apologize. But I just wanted to show people that I could do something. I wanted to show people that I could do something different. They compared me to Sean Porter. I said, I don't give a fuck who they compare you to. Fuck what anybody else got to say. It's us against everything when we in this square.
Facts.
The only thing that matters is you executing. I tell them before every fight, the difference between good and great is inches and centimeters.
Absolutely.
And the ability to produce.
Right.
Yeah.
In that particular fight with Pollo, he was the guy. You can use your fucking sledgehammer with him.
Yeah.
Get his ass down, close the distance. You know what I'm saying? Off your head feints, and you can break the sledgehammer out with him. He's somebody I want you to stay in his fucking chest. Make it difficult, make it rough, make it ugly. Rough his ass up, man.
Facts.
Rough him up.
Facts. And Gary is definitely capable of that style. See, that's why equating him to Sean Porter was so disrespectful, because he's very versatile. He definitely has boxing skills and can box with a boxer. I feel like he's more of a boxer
Hey, not too much on Sean Porter though.
I
Not
mean,
too
like,
much.
no disrespect to Sean
Hey,
Porter.
Yeah, but
But he's a
it's two different
different style
styles.
of fighter though.
But everybody knows if Sean Porter's fight, he's gonna put on his shoulder pads and his helmet.
Oh yeah, he's going forward the whole time.
And look, Sean Porter, that's my man. You know what I'm saying? He's my man. he know I'm gonna say that shit. Look, I ain't got no cut, no choke.
No filters, no nothing. We know that about you, Mr. Gary.
You know what I'm saying? Sean, he know, you know what I'm saying? That's my dog. Sean know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Sean is the person that's gonna make the fight difficult. If you fight Sean Porter, he's gonna rough you up. He's gonna get physical. He's gonna get physical. He's gonna try to boil in there, and if you can't deal with it, he's gonna run through you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess they seen something a little similar when it came to my little brother Antoine. You know what I'm saying? But I just had to let him know, like, bruh, fuck what anybody got to say. This fight right here, this is the fight that you can use your sledgehammer.
Right.
Get hands down. Make this shit. Now with Ryo, with the last guy, that's not a sledgehammer type of fight.
Right.
Because that dude, that guy, he had the ability to still change the whole equilibrium of the fight in the 12th round. Mm-hmm. He still physically had enough pop to be able to hurt Antoine, to get his attention and change the whole dynamic of the fight. Poyo, on the other hand, he did not. He's a good boxer. He can touch you and make it a little difficult for you that way, but he didn't have the ability to hit you, hurt you, and rock you and change the dynamic of the fight. You need to stay fucking more focused. Stay on where we need you at. You can't deviate from the game plan.
Right. You know what I noticed in the Ryo fight? In the Ryo fight, he was way more active with his jab. I'm talking about doubling, tripling up with the jab. Is that one of the things you kind of let him know? Hey, look, go ahead and work that jab more.
Definitely, I told him that his jab was going to be the deciding factor of this
Absolutely.
fight.
Absolutely.
His jab was going to be his deciding factor. That was something. If you paid attention to any of his career outside of that, he didn't jab as much.
Facts.
He gonna get close to you, move his head, and he's starting dropping scuds. He dropping them motherfucking bombs on the motherfucker.
Yeah.
He dropping scuds.
Yeah.
And he know he's in shape to keep it up. And I'm gonna keep coming, dropping this shit, and I know you're gonna be able to withstand it. If you ain't in shape by 4 or 5, oh yeah, you gonna fold, and I'm still coming, and I'm gonna start coming harder.
And brother placement is nasty with it, so he gonna put them where they need to be at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, like I really admire what y'all got, man, together. Hey, look, I got one more question. What is the man in the Iron Mask inswell you be using? Is that something like you use specifically, or like what is that?
And that's something that we actually, me and my father, we actually got situated. We got it patented and all that shit now.
Man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
We just wanted to be creative. We planning on dropping it maybe a little later on in our career. Just something that we can say that we not only did we participate in the sport, but it was a token of us that we want to be able to give to the sport.
Like leaving your mark.
We actually want to be able to give to the sport. It is when you're competing and you have inswells and stuff like that, they got that one piece of metal that they just rub on your face and etc. But that is a custom mold of your face at its natural state. So during the fight, if any deformities or anything was to occur, it just applies a cold compress to the entire face. It actually keeps you cooler. You know what I'm saying? Cools you down a little more versus just rubbing that one little piece of metal on your face. So in due time, we're planning on dropping that onto the sport as just a token of the Russell family. It's something that we just wanted to give to the sport.
Man, that's dope, man. That's a really good
let's look ahead to
it's not just for boxers, it's for anyone that does any type of combat sport. So and shit, even if it's not a combat sport, you just want to feel you're just a fan of the sport and you want a piece of a token of shit, this is what's going on, then you can still get it that way as well too.
Now let's look ahead to your fight on July 19th. Obviously, you're going to be facing Hugo Castaneda. What does he bring to the table? Like, what are you looking for from him, and what do you need to do to be successful in your return to the ring?
To be honest with you, I never really focus on my opponent. We'll look at maybe a fight or two or something like that, but I never truly focus on my opponent or anything like that. My biggest thing is preparing myself to the best of my ability. If I'm good, I'm situated, then I don't give a fuck with somebody else brings to the table. As long as I can go out there and do what I know I can do, I'm never really concerned about my opponent or who I'm competing against.
Word.
Now you're a part of a huge event, a huge card, a lot of great fights on the card. Besides your own fight, which fight are you looking most forward to on July 19th?
Appreciate y'all having me, fellas.
Yeah, no doubt.
Probably Pac.
Oh, the pack joint. I was gonna say something about another fighter on that card that you might want some get back with.
Ain't nobody thinking about that boy. He don't want to talk. Hey, look. Yeah, I did what I did with one hand. He know he can't fuck with me.
Yeah, facts. Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly. Now I know you have the like you say, you got your brothers with you and things like that, man. And one of the things that is posted on, like if y'all follow like Instagram, you got Team Gary Russell, on there. I know that Gary Russell Jr. is on the Instagram joint and stuff like that, but they had the hashtag their bloodline of royalty. You know what I'm saying? That it kind of goes to like how they've been carrying themselves, over the years and things like that. Like you said, with your father and having four fighters that have been very successful in boxing. So, kind of go more into that particular statement and how that kind of like defines the Russell clan.
I mean, shit, the Russell name is a staple in the sport of boxing. Anybody that's in the sport of boxing, you mention the Russell, they know who the fuck you're talking about. Anybody that compete in boxing, you mention the Russell, you know what they talk about. Hey, look, I seen this old thing on, I think it was on Instagram. It was a little meme or something. And this guy said, man, I've been kicking ass for so long, my feet stink. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like what it's been. As long as we can remember, we was always at the top of the food chain. In the amateurs, all the way through the amateurs and even all the way to the professionals. From the beginning stages all the way to the biggest stage you can possibly be in, our name was always mentioned. Even in the amateurs, we created history. It's never been four brothers to win the national Golden Gloves. My younger brother, who was my chief second, Gary Allen Russell III, he won the national Golden Gloves. I won the Golden Gloves. Antoine won the Golden Gloves, and Antonio won the Golden Gloves. All from the same tutelage, not from 5, 6, 7 different coaches, or 3, 4 different coaches, all from the same person. I went on to become the longest reigning world champion in the sport of boxing. Also was an Olympian. My father created 2 Olympians within me, as well as my younger brother Antoine. The percentage of becoming an Olympian is like 0.1%. It's ridiculous to become an Olympian. And for him to be able to strike gold twice like that is more than a coincidence. It's more than a coincidence. And now for me to, after the Olympics and stuff like that, to become the longest reigning champion in the sport. Now my father passed, and continue the tutelage with my younger brothers side by side,
Mm-hmm.
and turn my younger brother into a world champion as well. I think it just speaks volumes on the pedigree and the DNA in which that we come from. Bloodline of words.
Word, for sure. Hey Matt, you got another question out here for Mr. Gary?
Yeah. Listen, I need to know your prediction for your fight on July 19th because I'm looking forward to it.
We'll just say it again.
I said, I'm looking to hear your prediction for your fight on July 19th.
I'm a prediction for the fight July 19th, man. To be honest with you, I'm just looking forward to going out there and having fun. I'm just glad to be back to doing what I love to do. This is a 10-round fight, but if you want me to give you a prediction, I definitely don't plan on going 10.
Okay.
Definitely don't
Now I
plan
know
on
you don't
going
want
10.
to. I know you don't want to look too far ahead, obviously, because you just focused on this fight. But if all is good, shoulders good, are we gonna start seeing Gary Russell Jr. more often inside the ring fighting?
That is very possible. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I love it. I
Oh
love
man,
it. I
oh
love it,
man.
man.
Yeah, man, just definitely looking forward to this thing here in Las Vegas, man. MGM Grand Garden Arena, Mr. Gary Russell Jr. in action there against Hugo Castaneda. That's right, it's gonna be there on PBC on Prime Video, so y'all be able to check it out and things like that. Hey Matt, you got anyone out there that's with the requests and things like that? Or you got another question?
Nah. Fuck them. We good. We good. We good, man.
Word, for sure, man. So, hey, I know that they got like something going on tomorrow with you, Mr. Gary. So you got like I think it's like a conference call or some joint. But yeah, man. But we got you here 1-on-1. Very thankful to have you here 1-on-1 as always, man. Because we like chopping it up with Mr. Gary. You know what I'm saying? So, you got anything more for the people?
Man, just like I said, man, stay tuned. I'm one of the ones that ain't gonna food poison the fans, man. I'm gonna give it to y'all real straight, no chaser. You know, I'm giving it to y'all straight, no chaser, man. Just stay tuned, and I appreciate everybody that genuinely support, me as well as the Russell family.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is our guy there, of course, the longest reigning world champion out there, man. That's Mr. Gary Russell Jr., y'all.
Hey, man. Hey, appreciate everybody who joined us for this conversation with the great Gary Russell Jr. Shout out to the Boxing Source, JBD, JR Bell on YouTube. Make sure you guys go follow the
Yeah,
Boxing
for
Source
sure,
on
Mike.
YouTube and on all streaming platforms. Thank JB for setting this up. Obviously, y'all know, go follow Brunch Boxing. Y'all know what we do on this side over here. We'll be back later on in the week. It's been a great conversation. Don't forget, July 19th, MGM Grand Garden Arena, PBC pay-per-view on Prime. Gary Russell Jr. returns, and we out.